Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to make a kind of a quick mixed media little piece using this new Tim Holtz stamp set. I'm going to use the skull with the candle for sure. We've got a background stencil and the sticker book, and I just, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's get going. I'm going to work on one of these etc. panels here. These are really thick, not really chipboard. Not really sure what it is. Really thick, just bookboard maybe, panels that Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous puts out. So here's what I'm thinking. I want my skull to have candle on top of it, and I'm going to drill a hole and add tiny lights. So first thing I need to do is create a background on here. And I want to use a few of these stickers, and we've got lots of good words for Halloween. I went into the Halloween bin. I pulled out some more Tim Holtz things, and this tissue paper, this is from last year, and it's just beautiful. So see, I haven't even opened it. We're going to put some of this on. I'm going to use clear gesso. We're going to add some of this beautiful tissue paper to our panel. And I'm just going to add this with some clear gesso. Nothing fancy. Slapping it on. And then I'm going to go over the top of it also. Make sure it's really good and down. All right, I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we'll start doing some stamping. Okay, so I've got 2 distress inks and 1 oxide because I don't have antique linen in the regular, and I'm not sure why. Vintage Photo, Grand Espresso, and then antique linen. So we're going to start with Vintage Photo and a little Grand Espresso. A little, because Grand Espresso, a little goes a long way. Water. And then we're just gonna go in, smush. Everybody's done this 100 times. It's fun. It's always fun. Now I'm gonna go in with antique linen. I'm not gonna clean that off. I'm not all that concerned. And we're gonna use some mica stain. We're gonna use Unraveled. Remember, you gotta ring your bell. Don't shake up and down, because that mica will get into the straw and clog your nozzle. Now we're gonna spray this into our ink in place of water. I might add maybe a couple squirts of water just to thin all that. And now I'm gonna go in and add some of that. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna dry these and see if we need to do anything else. Now I'm gonna add a little Lost Shadow Distress Spray Stain and some Phantom Mist mica stain. Squirts or 2 of water. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. I want it to be very grungy. Like this skull, he's old. He's been around a long, long time. He's seen things. This is really heavily textured paper. This is that B Company paper that I love. Okay, I'm gonna go dry these, and I think we'll be stamping. Alrighty, I've got my stamp positioner. I'm gonna cut these out so they can be positioned however it's gonna look the best to me. And I'm gonna stamp with archival black soot. I'm usually a jet black girl, but Tim says black soot is the darkest, so I'm gonna use that. We're gonna stamp our skull. This is the only Halloween set I ordered from Tim. I only ordered a couple Halloween sets period this year because Halloween's my favorite, and I have a lot of Halloween. But I don't have a lot of people to give Halloween things to. Now this is going to take a few stampings because it's, you know, it's that heavy paper. But that is okay. Although if I'd have been smart, I could have stamped on the smoother side or worked on the smoother side. Pull this back over, and I'm going to stamp these flourishes on here. And they're not going to be perfect. I'm not worried about it. I just want to get them on there. Awesome sauce. I'm going to do the other one. There we go. That is pretty. And then we've got some splattery stuff here. Splatter. That's, a lot of this is going to get covered up. That is okay. There we go. I like it. All right, now let's start adding some of this ephemera here. Let's give this a chair. And I'm gonna rub some ink on it, archival vintage photo. Age it and grunge it a little. And we'll use some of the black soot. I'm gonna use the clear gesso again to add this to the panel. And I always get too much. Tuck him right up into this top corner. And then let's add, ooh, sticker. I use this border sticker. Can add a bat. All right, I'm gonna spray a little phantom mist over this whole thing. Why? I don't know. I just feel like it. Maybe a little unraveled too. I'm gonna set this aside to dry and get my skull and candle cut out. I'll do the skull and the candle. And believe you me, I'll be saving the rest of this paper. I think that'll be good for the moon too. Look at those, they're all cut out. I used cutter bees and I went around the edges with a black marker because this is really thick paper and sometimes the edge, like when you cut it after it's been, you know, wetted and all that stuff, it'll start to kind of try to separate. So color the edges, makes it look a lot better. Okay, so here's what we have so far. I'm gonna walk away and give this an hour to dry and eat some lunch, and I will see you later. I'm gonna flip this over and trim all this off. Actually, yeah. Get this all trimmed off. I want to add the skull and the candle with foam, so there's some dimension. So I need to get this candle glued on, and I'm gonna flip it over and add just some fun foam to the back. Let's cut some fun foam. And I think I'm gonna do 2 layers so it's really nice and popped up. And I'm just using bear glue. That's what I used to put the foam on. I'm gonna position him over the rosebud there. All right, I'm gonna weight this down, let it sit for a few minutes. All right, I wanna use this cool stencil and some grit paste. Add a little bit of extra dimension, just a little here and there. I'm gonna add it with a palette knife. Press this through the stencil. Sweet. Now let's do a little over here. And let's add a little down here. Awesome sauce. And I think I might just take some of this leftover. Just rub it on. Okay, so we've got some more drying time. Give us maybe an hour and I will see you later. So here's what I have so far. My skull and my candle are on with foam. I need to trim the foam around the candle flame. It's sticking out a little bit. Got some mummy cloth. And I think I want to wrap some around up here and kind of just let it shred and knot and stuff. But I think I need to dye it. So let's get some cut off. I'm going to rub some archival inks on it to color it a little bit. We'll start with vintage photo. And we'll do the same with black soot. Now I'm going to add some decayed mica stain. I'm going to go get this dry and we'll see how it looks. All right, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So I'm going to wrap this around and I'm going to use a glue gun to secure it since it's fabric and it'll set quicker. I'm going to go around the top part here. And I also pulled out this glitter. This is, well, it's mica flake from Yo's Art Quest. I've had this 180 years. So I'm going to add some of this for some shine. And while I'm waiting on the glue gun to heat up, I want to add a little white in here because that skull is pretty dark. And to do that, I'm going to use a chalk marker and some water. The chalk marker, this is basically gouache paint, or gouache, however you say, gouache paint. So I'm going to add some of this and some water and just kind of add a little bit of lightness to this guy here. Make sure it's going. And then I just want to add some and just kind of lighten this up. I'm using dirty paint water. That's fine. There, see? Because while I like the way the paper turned out, it did get pretty dark. So I want to lighten this up a little. All right, let's start wrapping this around. Hot glue it. Make sure it stays put. I'm going to do a little shredding. Pull a glue gun over, tack this down. And we'll do the same thing over here. Shred this a little. Yeah, haha, look at that. I need to trim this foam out around here, maybe with the knife. That's proving to be a little difficult, so I might try a black marker. Maybe if I can't cut it off of there, I can at least make it blend in a little. It's alcohol marker. Yeah, that works. I'm gonna go into these eyes and darken them up. Oh, I'm loving this so far. I have some of these Tim Holtz little posies. They're white. And then you just color them however you want. And these are actually for another project, so I'll probably have to get some more. But I thought maybe I would add some over here. And I'll just keep using the hot glue gun. Let's break out the bubbles too. Let's add a bubble. Here. And I'm going to put some glue down and sprinkle some of this glitter on it. I won't mess with it for a few minutes. I was talking to my daughter this morning and my phone did something weird. We're chatting away. I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks. And it just, all of a sudden, I couldn't hear her. I kept saying, hey, are you there? Nothing, nothing, nothing. And then there was some static. And then it just dropped the call. It said call failed. And when I tried to call back, it wouldn't go through. It kept telling me to turn on Wi-Fi calling. I'm like, what in the world's going on? So I restarted my phone, and when it came back on, it still said I didn't have any service. So I tried to text her because I thought that should go through over Wi-Fi. Nope, that didn't go through either. And then after about another minute, service came back on. It was fine. So I don't know what in the world is going on. I don't know if it was a Verizon problem, if it was a phone problem. Is it my phone telling me, go ahead and buy the 15? It's all right. I don't know. It was a little freaky. Bubbles are freaking cool, man. Now my plan for this is to get it framed. It's going to need a deep frame, but I don't think I'm going to put glass on the front. I'll let all that dry and then I'll worry about getting the strings off. Now you see that stenciling I did with the grip paste? You can hardly see it, but it does add a little something something to that background. So I'm glad I did it. Put one there. I'm going to add another bubble up here. So there's three bubbles. That's turned out really cool. Now I need to color this flame. I'm going to use an alcohol marker and then some stickles over it. I'll color it yellow. And I'm going to add goldenrod, which is my favorite gold. I actually prefer this over the actual gold. Then we're going to do a little Christmas red in the center of the flame. Now I'm going to add black diamond stickles into the eyes of the skull. And then once it's dry, I'm going to drill holes through the eyes for tiny light. And then once I have my holes drilled, I'm going to go in with glossy accents and make the eyes glossy. Okay, I'm going to let all this settle and dry and cool. And then we'll come back and start adding more stuff. I've got the hot glue strings pulled off, at least I think. You'll probably find more later. I think they multiply. And still waiting on the stickles to dry. But while that's drying, I thought we could look through the word. Let's see. Do we want to add a creepy person? Ooh, creepy kids. I always like creepy kids. Yes, let's add the creepy kids. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. I always forget that I have the paper dolls. I'm going to add them with the glue gun. And then, so we're only going to get half of the girl. I'm going to trim her off. I made this today during drying time, so you may want to go look at my shorts. This is a product packaging from the Tim Holtz bubbles. And then the paper and the stamp, no tricks, just treats, is from Brutus Monroe. And then just ribbon and a little pumpkin. This little pumpkin's from Recollections, so Michael's, and I've had them for a few years. They actually have foam, sticky foam on the back to use them like a sticker. I thought they worked really well for this. So go check that short out. And then I pulled out the 31 out of some ideology. I don't know if I want to use any of these or use one of the word chips. Ooh, the young girl became possessed. There was a terrible silence. Yes, I think maybe that. Because at first I thought maybe I'd use from Regions Beyond, but I kind of like that since we have the creepy kid on there. I may have to go in with some matte medium, get them where I want them. And then we'll see what I need to do. The young girl became possessed. Okay, that's where I want them. I think I'm gonna add a few more flowers down here by the kiddos. Okay, I'm gonna turn this around and cut the girl off. Add a little ink. Get some on my 31 because it's a little too clean. Let's do a little vintage photo too. We'll take this around the edge also. Okay, I'm gonna get a little matte medium and stick my stickers down. I just really want to make sure they don't pop off next year, you know. I'm just gonna use my same dirty brush from earlier. All right, I think I'm done except for tiny lights. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight, make sure everything is completely set and dry, and then we'll come back tomorrow and drill the holes and add our lights. Alrighty, look at the way this turned out. I am so pleased. So we've got our skull and candle, some glitter on our flame here, creepy children. There was a terrible silence. The young girl became possessed. We used some Tim Holtz Ideology bubbles and the little posies, which I had dyed black. And I put some other little crystals and pieces in here. Now we're gonna drill holes in his eyes. Are you ready? We got a piece of wood here, so I don't drill into my table. I need to prop it up on the back so it doesn't slip. Oh, there we go. Only one. Okay. There we go. Now I've got my smallest drill bit in. We're going to see how that works. And if I need to, I can go up one size. But we're ready. So I'll make sure the eyeballs are on the wood. I want to drill into my ink pad. That would suck. Okay, ready? Yeah, I think I am going to need to go up in size. So we'll just, whoops, pull this off. I'll go up one. I don't have any Halloween tiny lights. I looked in my stash, so I just ordered the set off Amazon. Back in we go. Back out. And I probably have to clean them out. That kind of looks creepy just like that, without even having the lights in. I do have a set of Christmas ones to try and make sure they're gonna go in, but I really want to do the Halloween colored ones. See if that's gonna go in the hole. Oh yeah. So what I'll do is I'll have them about like that, and I'll just hot glue it and tape it, and then I'll go over and stick the next one in. Yes, that's good. I'm gonna clean this out a little more and then take a little bit of black paint in there so that, you know, you don't see all that wood. So it'll be black. And then once I get the tiny lights installed and put in place, then I will add glossy accents. So this is all very shiny. So this is pretty done. I drilled holes into his eyes and I shoved some black paint in there. And then I did another hole here. You can't really see them, and one here because I'm gonna wrap lights around the skull too. So I'm just waiting on the glue gun to heat up, and then we'll get these lights put in. Now, when I get this done, I'm gonna take it to Michael's and have it framed. Hopefully they can do it because I need to have this stay outside of the frame. So we'll see. If they can't deal with it, then I'll, I guess, try and figure it out myself. Put this. I thought this was gonna be easy. It just pop right in there. Not so much. Turn this over. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. All right, so I'm gonna glue it. Make sure it stays right there. Got a second to cool. You just see how much glitter's falling off of this. Now let's get a light in the other eye. Glue that puppy down. Okay, now got some repairs to make, right? So we're gonna do some fixing here. You know, I'm a disaster. We're gonna add a little flower here. And just like before, once all this is dry, I'll go around and pull the strings off. Somebody's mowing their lawn. Can you hear it? And these are, I think I told you this before, but I'll tell you again. These are the Tim Holtz white flowers. And I just sprayed the heck out of them. And they end up making really cool little dead black flowers. I actually did them to make a wreath for a larger project I'm working on. I have enough that I could use them for this too. Now I did add off camera the spider. This is the Tim Holtz Ideology Halloween metal stuff. And I may add another. And then there's these really cool vines in here too, so I might end up adding those because that's the cover it up I need. I've got some velvet scallop trim. This is from Doodlebug Boutique Trim. I'm just gonna hot glue it. Let's check out this vine. If I can get it out. Let's see. Isn't that cool? What if we did that? All right, so I've got some mica flakes here. I've had these for a very long time. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with the light one, the larger flakes. And we're gonna go in here, add some glue and add some mica. Just dump it on, give it a few seconds to attach to that glue. Here. Let's see, I already put some here. A little more. I'm gonna let this sit and cool and then do some cleanup, and then I'll show you when it's done.